When people talk about RV and camper living, there are a few countries that always steal the spotlight, and Japan usually isn't one of them. But honestly, that's a bit of a shame, because once you start looking into what's coming out of Japan, there's some seriously clever stuff going on. So today, let's kick back and take a look at one of the country's better-known motorhome designs, the Regard Neo Plus. This little motorhome is built on a Toyota Camroad chassis, and it's got pretty much everything you'd need for comfortable life on the road. I like to think of it as a bento box on wheels because it's incredibly compact, neatly organized, and makes the absolute most of every inch of space. Part of that comes down to Japanese design philosophy, and part of it is simply that people there tend to be a bit smaller on average, which allows designers to shrink things down without sacrificing usability. If you're not familiar with the Toyota Camroad, the version used here is powered by a 2.8-liter inline 4-cylinder diesel engine. It puts out around 142 horsepower and about 300 newton-meters of torque, which isn't wild by any means, but it's perfectly suited for steady, efficient travel with a camper body on the back. Digging a little deeper, the Regard Neo Plus is now handled by LT campers. The original design comes from Yokohama Motor Sales, and over the years, LT began selling and refining it. By 2019, they had exclusive rights to the Regard and started pushing the design forward with updates and new packages. Their website lays out what this RV can do, what it includes, and of course, how much it's going to cost you. One of the biggest headline features is just how many people this thing can handle. In travel mode, it can legally seat up to 9 people, which sounds almost unbelievable until you see how the forward lounge is set up. There are multiple benches up front, some seating 2 people and one that looks like it can handle 3. Add the driver and front passenger, and suddenly 9 seats actually make sense. When it's time to sleep, the Regard really shows off its party tricks. The forward lounge converts into a sleeping area by flattening the benches, creating a bed that looks suitable for 2 adults and possibly a child. In the rear, there's a bunk setup, with the upper bunk larger than the lower one. The upper bed seems ideal for 2 people, likely an adult and a child, while the lower bunk looks better suited to a single adult. On top of that, there appears to be a drop-down bed tucked into what initially looks like part of the ceiling, accessed by a ladder, giving you yet another sleeping space. I'm going to gloss over the usual RV essentials like the wet bath, kitchen, and heating and cooling, because those are kind of expected at this point. What really caught my attention is what's going on at the rear of the camper. That bunk area can transform into an impressively tall storage space by flipping the bunks up. Once you do that, you're left with a cargo area that's nearly the full height of the motorhome. This space is big enough for things like e-bikes, kayaks, or other bulky gear, and it's accessible from both inside and outside. There are exterior hatches large enough for an adult to step through, and interior access means you can mess with your gear or do some quick maintenance even when the weather isn't cooperating. Calling it a garage honestly feels pretty fair. Another standout detail is the construction. The camper shell is a one-piece molded fiberglass unit, including a one-piece floor. Fiberglass is fantastic for durability and weather resistance, and with proper care, these kinds of shells can last for decades. It's the kind of build quality that makes you feel like this RV could genuinely be passed down rather than worn out. As for the price, it's not exactly cheap. Depending on the model year and options, a current Regard Neo Plus with a higher-end package sits around 14 to 15 million Japanese yen, which works out to roughly 100,000 US dollars at current exchange rates. That's pretty steep, especially considering the size, even by American RV standards. So where does that leave buyers outside Japan, especially in the US? Technically, you can import a Toyota Camroad-based camper like this, but you'll need to deal with shipping, import fees, and compliance with US regulations. Vehicles under 25 years old have to meet strict federal standards, which usually means spending even more money to make everything legal. In the end, most people will probably stick with domestic options, but it's still fascinating to see what's being done elsewhere in the world. Designs like the Regard Neo Plus are a great reminder that smart packaging and thoughtful engineering can go a long way, even in a very small, very bento-shaped motorhome.